The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. Here are Mauricio Garcia and Hubert Humphrey.
Hey, when you are trying to convert people into whatever crusade mission that you may be on right now, and whatever businesses that you're doing, you've got to understand the concept of Mozone. I'll tell you from personal experience that when I started to apply this, when I started to build a company I'm associated with right now with my mentor, I started applying these Mozone secrets all over Mexico and the different cities all over there. It made a huge difference in how people experience my opportunity offer. So nothing can actually, or nobody, I should say, can explain this Mozone concept better than I think the person who's taken this to the next level and has been doing it for decades now to recruit millions and millions of people and build two companies that are now worth, or have market caps of $4 or $5 billion. And I'm sure that this Mozone thing was a big part of doing that. So pay attention. Today's podcast is going to be critical. And with that being said, I want to welcome my mentor, my friend, my partner, a legendary Hall of Fame entrepreneur, Mr. Hubert Humphrey. Hubert, how are you today?
I'm great. Glad to be with you here today. And you're talking about Mozone.
Yeah.
I haven't ever created many things. I'm a great copier, a great imitator. I just assimilate and put things into my world, and then I take ownership of it because it's now part of me. Mm-hmm. But the word Mozone, I remember as a young boy, I would watch The Twilight Zone with Rod Serling. And he said, "You're now entering into the Twilight Zone." It was on TV a long time ago. Young people wouldn't know it. They'd have to go to YouTube and find it. And but so I said, once I got in this business, I realized how powerful your environment was. And so I started calling it the momentum zone, not the Twilight Zone. And when people entered into our world, or they got around me or any of my people, or came to our meetings, or were on any of our calls, or just associated with us, they were now entering not the Twilight Zone, but this Mozone, this world. Because the one thing that I found, Mauricio, was that, and this is what separates probably what we've done over the years from so many companies, is that we don't try to recruit people to a company. We don't try to recruit them to a product. We don't try to recruit them to a thing. We try to recruit them to an environment, an atmosphere. That's the key. It's like business evangelism or business work. You don't do it by the head and the logic. You do it by the feelings. And so as you create an environment, and it's not now there's all kinds of things that make up Mozone. You can create Mozone with great powerful motivational music at events, or great imagery with posters and signs and multimedia types, plasma screens, and all kind of staging, and the way you dress for success. All those things make a part. But the whole deal, the whole key is you're creating an environment, a world that people are entering into, and it starts with your voice. It's the inflection of your voice. It's the energy of your voice. I can talk slow or I can talk fast. So you can turn yourself on or off. And creating Mozone is a simple skill that everybody can do, and really a lot of times, if you're part of a team and got leadership and management above you, and they're operating Mozone, you're borrowing all of that. So really, Mozone is you're creating people to this environment, this atmosphere. Share with them a little bit about these numbers. There's some percentages that have been proven as to what influences people.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. 7%, and this was eye-opening to me, and the minute I started to understand voice tonality and voice modulation, I started to understand that when you do those type of things, you move people's emotions and you get their minds going. When you become aware of it, you look at why that's the way stories are told. That's why the way the movies are told. All these different things that really get you to cry, to laugh, to experience that story in a different way. So it's not about just content. I mean, you could learn content right here. You can learn everything about a great presentation, but it's almost irrelevant because it's only 7% to a presentation. Like whatever you say, it just represents 7% of the communication. And the numbers here that are staggering is that 38, almost 40% of a good presentation, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's on stage, is that the voice, the tonality of the voice, what you were just said, becoming that thermostat, right? Because you could kind of see the entire crowd to be the thermometers. You can raise that temperature or lower it down based on the way you speak, even the speed of the voices and the tonality, just that modulation. And then body language. I mean, you know, when you talk about getting excited, getting a whole crowd excited, you'll notice that people that are really good at doing it, whether it's one-on-one or in groups, they use their body to communicate. They use their voice, their tonality, and yeah, sometimes you don't even know exactly what they said, but you just saw that they were happy, they were excited, right? And they were using this voice modulation, and it changed something in you. I think that's what you're trying to say, right, Hubert? And I see these things at play at the events that you do, and talk about storytellers, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All of that, what you said, all those numbers really have played out. And you'll notice that the largest percentage, 55%, was body language. And it's great to point that out now, because in our business, we brought a lot of greenies, a lot of new people in who had never been in business. They'd never been in sales. They never even thought that they could be something like this. In fact, left to their own devices, they sit there and would have stayed frozen in their own little world and just lived their lives of quiet discontent, you know. But there was that silent majority that just always was wanting something but never getting it. Well, we've recruited all those kinds of people, and a lot of them, they're not skilled in oratory. They're not skilled in the tonation of their voice or the inflection.
You don't know. Yeah.
But later they do, and those make a big difference. You and I've been around long enough that we can move our voice up in any way we want to move it, and just like a great actor can sit
with
there
intention
and bring tears.
too.
An actor can get in and play a role and have tears come out and act like they're in great pain or they're great sadness or they're happy. That's what actors do. They play parts. Well, we've got to, in a sense, become an actor trying to play the role of the great person we want to become. So sometimes we got to act as if we already are there. But the point I really want to make here is that new people who are getting into the business, who maybe your voice is a soft voice, maybe you're more passive. Your body language is dominant. It's the dominant thing here. 55-60% of what happens is how somebody see you move and act. I can have a person that's just the most quiet person in the world, but all of a sudden they see this person moving a little faster. They walking a little faster. They can see their smile on their face, and they sit more upright or they walk faster. Those little things right there. Even if you don't have a strong voice, if you don't have a made for TV, made for radio voice, your body language it makes all the difference. I've seen tons of new people come in who are so excited about this opportunity that we got them into, that just their friends on their prospect list that listened to them on the phone or saw them in person. It aroused curiosity because something's different about this person. Man, what's he found? What's going on here? And and that alone is the attraction. So the point I'm making is that the newest people can become very good at this by just because they're they were not excited, now they are excited. That difference is what attracts people. I used to tell this story way back. I said, and everybody's seen one of these dogs. But it was a dog in our neighborhood. This was many, many years ago when we were first married. There was a dog in our neighborhood that I don't know, just chased every car. I didn't care what it was, a car, motorcycle, whatever it was. That dog would chase cars, and everybody's afraid somebody's going to run over it. And, you know, and so but you see it every day for days and weeks, and you just don't pay any attention. Well, you get out, you drive your car down the road, and there's a dog doing, and you just don't. It's just commonplace. You've seen it so much. That dog just crazy, just likes to chase cars.
Right.
Well, one day I was coming back home and I noticed that dog growling and barking at me. This time I could see his teeth and I could see him foam coming out of his mouth, and he had a different look. And come to find out, the dog had rabies, and he was chasing. So I went home and told the kids, I said, that little dog that you see every day, oh, get away. If they had the dog catcher come out, sure enough, they had to put him down. He had a contracted. But I'd seen that dog every day for 2 or 3 months and no longer paid any difference.
Yeah.
But because he was sitting there with foam in his mouth and his teeth showing, that dog is different.
Body language,
that is a different dog, and it caught my
language.
attention. So we need to start foaming at the mouth. We need to have somebody say something different about Hubert, something different about Mauricio. And you know what? That arouses curiosity. Absolutely. And everything. And they cannot stand the thought that their friend or partner, whoever he is that excited, and he's not going to tell you, and you got to go over and take this. They'll come to the meeting. They'll come to your presentation. They'll listen. That's how simple it is. This is not some deep thing that you got to be a great professional guy. Just a sheer fact that a human being who wasn't excited is now excited. That is Mozone. That's where Mozone starts, at that little basic DNA level.
There are probably here 11 points. We're not going to be able to cover that. We'll probably do about 10 different podcasts just on Mozone alone, if not more, because there's so many elements that come together for that. There's 11 points here. We won't be able to cover that. But I want to give testimony because, when I first met you, Hubert, I was in the traditional side of the insurance side, right, business. Mm-hmm. And then I joined HCI, and I went down to Guadalajara, and I started to, grow this whole thing. And I started to apply these Mozone principles on the events. I've never really done events publicly, anything like that. But I could see the reactions of the people when we create the environment, right? Like they're walking into an experience. Forget about what was going to be said on stage, is that they walk in, they look around, they see the people, they hear the music, they see the lights, they see the reward, they see all these things that make the Mozone. It's like a night and day of the things I've used to do, and then we recruited thousands of people down there, and I applied those same principles on a maybe not boring, but a traditional come on over, let's talk about how to win the money game type of financial seminar. I started to apply a little bit of these principles in the event that I did, and it made a huge difference in the experience people had. Yeah, it was a good presentation that we gave about how to better manage the money and whatever, but it was everything else that we created around using this Mozone principle. So what am I trying to tell you is that if you come close to the fire, if you get involved with Hubert Humphrey, if you get involved with Mauricio, if you get involved with our team, with the company that we're building here, you're going to learn these principles that will forever change your life. In the meantime, you'll be able to make a lot of money and be able to better your life by understanding how to use the Mozone to build a great business in the financial industry. But it all starts by learning the power of the industry. And where do you learn that? By going to hgiopportunity.com. I will not get tired of inviting you there. It is hgiopportunity.com because it is an opportunity and it is made by HGI, and it brings 40 years of experience, 40 years of success. It brings the best system that can help you really build something in the most powerful industry in the world, but with a very different angle. That has, let me put it this way. This is the system that has beat the most reputable top financial companies in the country in their own game. So you need to learn what this is about. And you can do that by going to that website. It's hgiopportunity.com. Go there today. And I want you to compare it to whatever it is that you're doing right now. And I'll guarantee you that you will see just how superior an opportunity like that is. And once you find that out, you're just not going to allow your time to be invested in an inferior opportunity when you discover what we're trying to help you here see. So with that being said, Hubert, as always, thank you so much. We'll cover more on the Mozone on other podcasts, but I think for today, this whole thing about understanding body language, voice tonality, and that kind of stuff made this for a great, valuable podcast.
That's right. Mozone is very simple. I mean, the reason why we were able to beat all those companies you were talking about and dominate the largest industry in the world is that we were selling dreams, and they were selling insurance, and they were selling mutual funds, they were selling financial products, which are wonderful because we market them too. But we start by selling the dream, and that dream is many things: lifestyle, freedom, things, new houses, whatever. And
The things people want. We all want that, Hubert. We all want that, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's a stronger magnet. We have a stronger magnet than they do. And it was that Mozone. See, if you're setting a dream of and excited, and everybody's excited, talking to these prospects, that's what's going to attract them to you. Is that difference in you, that difference, the dream. If you got a dream, it's easy to get them to be excited about. Hey, I want one of them dreams too, and that's how people are.
Absolutely. So I've got nothing more for today. HCIopportunity.com. Hubert, have a record day, and we'll see everybody here tomorrow. Don't forget to like, comment, share. It makes a big deal. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Tomorrow.
Warning, this podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance.